Guys, okay, this is going to be a really quick video. This is a requested video, and I'm so sorry. I would have to dig through so many comments to find the requester's name, but you know who you are. Um, so I was asked about the use of the N-word in the Black community and why it is so offensive for it to be used when other people use it, but we're okay with using it amongst ourselves. First, I want to say it is a misconception that Black people are comfortable using the N-word. This is something that has to do with rap culture, ignorance, and things like that. Most Black people that I know, the Black people I grew up around, the Black people I associate with, the Black people in my family do not use it at all. I never heard my dad use it. I never heard my mom use it. Never heard my cousins use it, my uncles, my aunts. Nobody at my school used it. But let me say this, I grew up in San Francisco. If I went to Oakland, into a poor neighborhood in Oakland, I would hear it like all the time. So I feel like this is more like a culture thing than anything. And some Black cultures, they do use the word. Let me be like 1,010% clear. The word is not okay to use. It's not okay for anybody to use the word, whether it has a strong ER at the end or whether it has an A at the end. It's not something that's encouraged or promoted in the Black community. And I think it's very important to make a distinction. What you see on TV, that's not what we're like. Are all, white people dumb? Do you guys all go and investigate the weird sound in the basement? Where 10 people died? You know what I mean? Like, no. Television is just that. It's television. This is why it's so important to like turn off your television and get into the real world. The average Black person you meet is probably more like me than they are like anybody you'll see on TV or in a music video. A rich rapper using the N-word every 3 words is not indicative of what our culture is like. Like, not even by the longest long shot. So it's just really important to know that that's not something that my people stand by. It's not something that we promote in our community. It's a word that we would choose not to use. Honestly, the first time I was ever called that word, it was with a hard ER, and it was after I left California. I think I was in like Reno. Somebody screamed it at me out their car, and nobody had ever called me that before. Not a Black person, not a white person. I really didn't know how to feel about it. And I think only twice in my life I've had that word used. One was in writing it with somebody's child back in my college years in an apartment I was staying at. And obviously the little boy had heard his parents use it. And so he had left a note on my door with the word on it. But in my lifetime, I've only had that word directed at me twice. And those are the 2 occasions. So it's not even actually a part of regular life for a lot of Black people. Again, this is cultural. Like I said, I know that in Oakland, I hear people use that word all the time. And what's more disturbing is because of rap and hip hop culture, I hear people who are not Black using it all the time. I was in Stockton, California earlier this year, and this little boy was like, and he was not Black. He was not mixed. He was not racially ambiguous. He was just something not Black. And he was just on the phone saying it every 5 seconds. And I was so uncomfortable. Like, if my children hadn't been with me, I definitely, like I had my 2 daughters with me. If they hadn't been with me, I definitely would have said something because I was just like, are you kidding me right now? I was pretty disturbed by it. So that's what I have to say about the N-word. It's just an inappropriate word that ignorant people use. Ignorant people, whether they are racist or whether they are in the Black community, it is something that ignorant people use. Educated people don't use words like that. Educated people aren't throwing racial epithets left and right, at people. That's not how we behave at all. That's not how the majority of the Black community behaves. It is not looked upon, well in our community at all. And like I said, as a Black woman who grew up having a Black experience, okay, with a Black family and 2 Black parents and Black cousins and, and I have a huge family. I literally, like the people in my family have like so many kids. I literally have like hundreds of cousins that I know because my grandpa was a bishop. And so we would spend a lot of time in church together. So it's just not, it's not normal. It's not something that goes on. Like, please, 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 do not take your information about the Black community from television. That is not our community. Please do not take your information about the Black community from isolated pockets of Blacks. The thing is that the worst of us get the most press. Nobody's at my house, you know, talking about this Black woman has a beautiful house with beautiful children and she is educated. It's not us that are going to get the press. Nobody's going to be like, there's a whole community in Texas just full of Black people and everybody's affluent and you know what I mean? Like, that's not what's going to get the press. Okay. Not at all. What's going to get the press is the ignorant people. What's going to get the press, you know, are the people that that are going to draw the numbers for ratings. And so as far as the N-word, yeah, don't use it. If you're Black, don't accept the usage from other people. And most importantly, know that we don't like it. We're not comfortable with it. It is a sign of ignorance, and it's part of a culture that Black people who love our people and love ourselves, we completely and utterly reject. It is not something that's acceptable in our community. It's not something that is acceptable and for other people to say. It is purely an indication of ignorance. It is purely an indication of ignorance, no matter who uses the word. And so that is my take on that. Thank you so much for asking me. And if you have more questions for my Ask a Black Girl series, please throw them out there. I will be happy to answer your questions. Hold on, let me just see something. Oh, this whole video, I could have made this slightly better. You know, this is the third camera that I film on, so everything's a little bit darker and like rich in this camera, and I really like that look. But I know that some of you guys don't like it because it's not as clear and crisp as the other two ways that I filmed. So with that said, I'm still going to get out of here. I'm just rambling now. It's a rainy day. All right, you guys, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.